confirmed one of the three people shot and killed was rapper King Von from Chicago, who was here last night with friends, where a total of 6 people were. One of them, a rapper Davon Bennett, who goes by the stage name King Von.
We want to begin now with some breaking news. Rapper Lil Durk is...
Investigators have just uncovered a shocking detail buried inside a forgotten 2019 court case tied to Lil Durk and King Von, involving a man who was targeted in Atlanta. Hold up, because newly surfaced information shared by a member's father allegedly connects Durk working behind the scenes with Von, suggesting the situation was handled in a way that helped shut the case down quietly. And trust me, this part will make you think. If King Von had never lost his life, there's a strong chance Durk might have already been sitting behind bars years ago for a completely different case than the one people are talking about today. Back in February 2019, a man was reportedly ambushed near the Varsity in Atlanta, where jewelry, cash, and even his Jeep were taken during a robbery that surveillance cameras managed to capture. Then, by June 2019, during a probable cause hearing, a detective testified that the footage appeared to show Durk firing rounds from a moving vehicle while King Von was allegedly inside the same car. After reviewing the testimony, the judge concluded there was enough evidence to push the case forward, which ultimately led to King Von being taken into custody.
Hey, please. Out here? What? For what? Atlanta? Good. Yeah. Oh. Just stay simple. We're gonna just change it.
You too. I hate it like this, partner. You ain't never give me no hard time.
Hey, man, when you can't explain to your aunt, man, like it's not. We don't know what your case is. We just people to come pick you up. Right.
A week later, Durk was given a $250,000 bail that required him to stay away from King Von. Bond was also given to Von. However, after King Von's death, the case became extremely fascinating. Prosecutors in Fulton County withdrew all charges against Durk in October 2022, citing the interest of justice as justification. Since King Von was no longer alive, Durk effectively received a free pass. However, it turns out that Durk may have known that if Von passed, the matter would be withdrawn. He thus set him up. According to TF member Vonnie's father, Durk backed King Von and had his son orchestrated.
Give you this. It's a back door and I got all the pieces. That's all I'm going to tell you. As Durk asked Vonnie, is it open? Vonnie told him it's off the hinges.
Wait. Are you talking about the Von? Like King Von?
Listen very carefully. When the payment was made to Little Timm, the next day or the same day, Durk asked Vonnie, was it open? This is what he asked him. Was it open? It was his exact words. Was it open? He told him it's off the hinges.
Are you saying that Vonnie backdoor King Von? No way. That was right here.
You heard what I just said. Guess what? You need motive first, right? Yeah. I got bankers. That'll testify that or will make a contract or make a statement to you and let you know that this is the amount of money he had, this is what he had, this is that another. You need motive first and foremost. I got text messages from the lawyer letting you know that who told on Durk before, who told on Von before he died.
Vonnie's father would then be questioned by academics about why Durk would want Von to go.
Why would Durk want Von?
All right, man. Let me give you this. First of all, you didn't sign your rights over. You ain't in no 360 deal. First of all, you can't bring nobody into the business and they surpass you. How you bring me to the table and I pass you up? Don't nobody want their cheap spot taken, do they?
That's an interesting
Dude was
thing.
a slack. He was signing the boys. Von wasn't no slack.
That's interesting. I did find out that Von didn't have any contractual ties to Durk like that, which was interesting.
I mean, come on, man. He wasn't even signed to him. How's this his friend? He lied on Breakfast Club and said, "Hey, you think your man would be sitting here with $300,000 worth of jewelry on and he not have an attorney? He got a public defender."
According to court documents, this case was closed in private. This indicates that Durk probably struck a deal behind closed doors with the courts to ensure that the case would never go to trial. When the news reported that Vonnie's father reveals Vonnie allegedly orchestrated Lil Pab and King Von's passings, he even intensified his efforts.
My right, he ain't responding no back to me because this is on a tablet. He on a jail tablet when I sent that to him. He ain't responding nothing else to him. I told you he can't take my advice because they playing. They made themselves get caught. This is what come along with it. They wanted to get caught. You understand me?
So, that's what you meant by trenches of paint. Okay.
What you mean trenches what?
Was it you that said that? With the whole narrative about Vonnie snitching with the text messages, like that's.
Yeah. I don't know who said that, but that was me.
Cause that was a focus. Everybody was trying to make it seem like that's what the text messages was about.
That's just saying what he finna cop out to and this, that, and other. And with me saying Von, some people like, damn, what he gonna tell on some words on Von?
I ain't gonna lie, I said that in my video. I'm free to know what the Von name was for.
No, he ain't gonna tell him no Von. You gonna tell it just like you orchestrated Lil Pab, you orchestrated this, and guess who you work for?
However, fresh evidence and police documents were added to the 2026 van passing files, providing additional information about Durk's involvement. The story starts with a nurse telling the police that Van was revived and survived 2 surgeries, but he died after being startled by the nurses entering the room.
I made it through 2 surgeries. He had 3 surgeries ago. He made it through 2 surgeries. And then after the second surgery, he hopped off the bed and started fighting the nurse and said where his gun at. And he died because he went into shock. So he was making 2 surgeries. How hours later, Kayla he fought the nurse. She the one told me that. His mama didn't even know that. How you knowing what's going on inside the hospital?
Because she was there at the hospital.
Even more worrisome, though, is that because Van had bodyguards with him that evening, the police think he was lured by one of his own, exactly as Vonnie's father claimed. However, they vanished during the altercation.
Security guard let him walk. You get paid he get paid to protect. How the f you let him walk over and fight? You ain't supposed to let him fight. He ain't supposed to be touching nobody. Security guard, if anything, you make sure Quando them leave. Whoever else they was with, you make sure they leave. How you let him walk over somebody that's the reason y'all here, the reason everybody in this parking lot here, because this man right here making the money and y'all his entourage. But that security guard, it's something fishy with him. That's why he deleted his Instagram. I definitely feel like it's foul play. I don't know where it's coming from, but I definitely feel like it's some weird shit going on.
Police body cam footage from the scene reportedly shows only friends of King Von nearby, with not a single visible bodyguard in sight. But hold up, because to really understand what happened that night, you have to go back and follow the entire timeline the way investigators laid it out in their reports, beginning on November 5th, 2020. On that evening, King Von and members of his circle headed out to a nightclub in Atlanta to celebrate the release of his album, Welcome to O-Block. The plan was simple. It was supposed to be a victory moment, marking how far Von had come from street life to major success in the music industry. But nobody expected the night to end the way it did. What makes the situation even more surprising is that King Von was known for moving carefully whenever he appeared in public. Even his own manager once spoke about how seriously Von took security and the protection he usually kept around him.
One security that moves with Von, and he traveled with 2 more security. You know what I'm saying? Von traveled in a proof truck, and not only that, his guys are security, man. He travels with 10 to 15 guys daily. They protect and love Von more than any security would. I think we're about 8-10 cars deep, 20-25 on entourage.
King Von would act out and endanger his life, even with his friends and bodyguards surrounding him. However, everything was going well since King Von and the crew were still having fun at the club. They also made the decision to depart the club when it became early in the morning.
Mind leaving the club is that we're going to the hotel and the Airbnb, because that's normal routine. The club he went to, the after hours, wasn't getting paid for. I didn't have no acknowledgement of. His team didn't have no acknowledgement of. That was a complete Von decision.
People were preparing to spend the night in their hotels. Van, however, had different ideas and instructed his driver to head to Monaco, another club.
Everybody else that was with us driving to the Airbnb, and Von literally went to the venue by himself. We got a call later from people in the car, like, hey bro, we here by, matter of fact, I think from his DJ was like, hey bro, we here by ourselves, like, where you guys at? And everybody rerouted to that venue.
Fortunately, when King Van arrived in Monaco, the other passengers in his vehicle informed the entire crew that they had stopped at a different club, and the others followed. However, Van's manager at 100K Track realized that Van wasn't behaving normally when he arrived.
The reason Von wasn't himself. This man is like, I promise you, the best artist I ever moved in my life. For some reason that night, it was off. Like, he stayed in the car for like 30, 35 minutes.
He eventually consented after his manager entered the truck to see how he was doing and persuaded him to enter the club. However, security was dispatched to ensure it was secure before Von entered.
Went to the car he was in, I was like, yo, Von. Went inside the passenger seat. I'm like, yo, Von, bro, what's going on? Like, everybody here waiting, let's go. He was like, all right, let's go. We're telling security, hey, it's time to go in now. Von's ready. You know what I'm saying? We've been here too long. Let's go inside the club. They check the venue, go inside, check the outside, make sure there's no...
One of Von's other members saw Quando Rondo and his friends sitting in a white SUV in the same parking area when part of his security was inspecting the club. Von would promptly receive the information from that member.
Before we go inside the club, one of his homeboys, he came to the car and said, hey, so-and-so's here. And Von just jumped up like, oh, come on, let's go.
When King Von received the news, he immediately jumped out of the truck, walked over to Quandrando's car, and then swung at him.
Jumped out the car. By the time Von jumped out the car, I don't even think he knew where so-and-so was. He just jumped out the car. He bumped into so-and-so. As soon as he bumped into so-and-so, started brawling.
What happened next turned into a moment that King Von simply couldn't recover from. As Von reportedly moved toward Quando Rondo, Quando's associate Lil Timm jumped out of a nearby car and fired his weapon, striking Von 4 times. People from Von's camp reacted instantly, rushing toward Lil Timm in an attempt to stop him before things spiraled even further. But sadly, the injuries King Von suffered in that moment were already critical. With gunfire echoing through the area, 2 off-duty police officers arrived, and the situation quickly became even more chaotic as one of Von's associates was also shot. Meanwhile, in the middle of the street, both King Von and Quando Rondo ended up on the ground as the fight and gunfire erupted around them. Some witnesses later claimed Quando appeared to be reaching for Von's chain, while others insisted Von was holding on to Quando, possibly trying to use him as a shield in the chaos.
Trying to take Von's chain, or?
Honest truth, I don't think V-Roy had no jewelry on, and from the people that was a little bit closer, Von was actually holding onto him like, man, you ain't going nowhere. Like, you here, like, even through getting he's that strong, like, he was literally holding him.
After a while, the police left the area, and as soon as things calmed down, O-Block members hurried to save King Von's life. After hurling Quando away from Von and running into the center of the road, Von's best friend Muop picked him up and drove him to the escape car. At the same moment, Wando's team gets back in their vehicle and drives directly to the hospital. But what's amazing about King Von is that after being struck 4 times, he remained aware the entire ride to the hospital and promised his boys that everything would be okay.